Hello friends, Ifan here. So today we are going to be talking about three things that keeps you poor. As you all know, I'm here to open your eyes as to the behaviors that you execute subconsciously so leading to this result that is disadvantageous and you do not desire. So the first thing that keeps people financially poor is the first thing to do is to avoid get rich quick schemes. Do you want to get rich? Do you want to make $1 million without investing? Do you want to do X? Yes. The only conglomerate you are building or the only person you're going to enrich are the proprietors of those schemes. Sure, you might profit at the beginning of the frenzy, but as it progresses, it's only a matter of time before the bubble bursts. The chances of you getting rich through one of these build $10 billion conglomerates by buying my $49 course. This is an investment you have to make for your future. Do it now or you're not making any financial progress. The chances of you getting rich by those schemes is next to 0.0001%. You are more likely to become the next president of the United States than to get rich through these schemes. You're also more likely to go out of your door and get crushed by a meteor than to become rich through these schemes. You're also more likely to get eaten by a T-Rex than to become rich through these schemes. This is why I detest courses most of the time. Not courses in general, but courses that purport to teach you something or personal development course. What I advocate is for you to buy courses that give you a precise knowledge like machine learning, AI, coding, etc. So buying personal development course, of course they work, but the problem behind that is there's so many free information that you can leverage, and at the beginning of the journey you want to spend as little as possible for optimal result. I'm not saying you should not spend to get knowledge, but you can. There are so many. Technology has made it easy to leverage on so many information. And why people buy these courses although they are broke is because they believe that once spending money, they believe in this flawed conception of hard work, that spending money is an investment to their future. Of course it is, but in that wise, that's probably not the best thing to do. It's like ramming your head. It's like ramming your head through a concrete wall when you can just open the door and walk in or go over it. So you do not have to always take that hard part. And if you're like me, who has a dogged work ethic, this is something we struggle with. We are most likely to take that difficult part just for the story it brings, as opposed to the easy part, because we believe that going through the easy part is not the most optimal way to produce results. So change that philosophy. That's not Hard work doesn't always apply to all scenarios. And that's the first thing. Avoid get rich quick schemes. The second is needing the newest things. You need the newest iPhones, you need the newest sofa, you need the newest iMac, and all of these things you're purchasing on debt. That's the problem I have with all this thing. Or you're going out of your way to finance all of these purchases. My friend, I want you to understand that you're not being financially literate because you can acquire these purchases on a 0% APR. That is dumb. Companies like Apple just want to make sure their inventory is as clean and as possible, and they will do that as long as, even if it costs them an interest rate. So you go out and buy an iPhone, you spread the balance across 12 to 24 months, and when you pay off that debt, you now feel cringe because there's nothing else you can do with this money and you don't have a debt to pay. You're not used to that, and you go out, take another new debt, $40 debt. So you're no longer paying $40 for 24 months, you're paying $40 for the rest of your life. This is the law of cybernetics in the law of aviation. Most of you who are familiar with aviation and aerodynamics, you understand the law of cybernetics, that once a plane is going, say it's moving straight, there is a level that it can't deviate beyond its predetermined trajectory. So once you deviate, say you're done paying off that debt and you deviate from status quo, that law of cybernetics kicks in. and aligns you back to that trajectory of debt. So you see now the problem is not just to pay off your debt immediately. The problem is to change the trajectory of your life. Change it from needing the newest things to something else. Become financially literate. That way you have more money to invest as opposed to spend. So more money becomes advantageous to you as opposed to a detriment. More money is not your problem. More money is not the solution to your financial distraught or your rot. The problem is you are uneducated to be able to multiply as well as preserve finances. 90% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, from people who earn 30K to 40K to 50K. You see that the income brackets are different, but the pattern is consistent. To these people, more money just means more money to spend. So once you become financially literate, that information prohibits you from making poor financial decisions. Are we clear? Yeah, so take that aspect, take that ability to be able to financially literate, get certificates, seek to increase your income, and you'll be fine. The third is live below your means. This is something I've struggled with most people, which is good by the way, especially if you're starting out. But I do not believe an intelligent God put us on this earth to clip coupons and to live a very small life. Go to school, get a job, have a nice family, go through a divorce, lose everything, struggle, arguing, and die. That is a very mediocre way to exist. That is a very suboptimal way to exist. Do not believe in all this foolish shit that money doesn't make you happy. Who needs a Lamborghini to be happy? You make that decision for yourself. Drive a Lamborghini, then decide for yourself that this doesn't make you happy. I'm not trying to say you should place your happiness on external things. That's not what I'm advocating for, friend. What I'm trying to say is get this experience for yourself, then make the decision through the scientific TSs, which is observation, analysis, and feedback. So you observe it through your own personal experience, then you can come and say, look, I don't like driving Lamborghinis. I just want to pay my bills and be happy. Then yes, people claim to be humble, but the reality of it is that's just their default state. Like a mouse. A mouse is seen as a humble or a harmless animal, but that's just its default state. It can't do anything else. So until you have money, until you have resources, and you still portray humility, then you know you're humble because you have the ability to earn the opposite direction, but you choose to remain your dignified pose. It's like a lion, for instance. If a lion doesn't eat, if a lion doesn't attack another animal, then we can say it's humble. If a lion doesn't go out to kill the gazette, and chooses to eat grass instead, then we can say, oh, this lion is humble because he has the ability to kill. So live below your means is not the most optimal way to make money. You can't live life by curtailing expenses and clipping coupon. There's so much you can squeeze from that limited pie. Take two people for instance. One earns $25,000, the other $250,000. So Mr. A, the $25,000 is living for 75% in expenses, 10% in savings, and the other 15% in investments. So very frugal life. Mr. Jones, on the other hand, earns $250,000. He lives on 30% in expenses, 40% in investments, and the rest of the percentage into savings. Now, Mr. A would see Mr. B, which is Mr. Jones, and say, this guy is balling, he's wasting money. Had it been I had that kind of finances, I would make more better financial decision. Why is he getting that extra guac? Why is he getting that extra pepper on his chicken? All these are wasting of money. The reality of it is, from an objective perspective, Mr. Jones is living more frugal from a racial perspective than Mr. A. But the difference is this Mr. Jones has a bigger pie to play with, while Mr. Jones is still operating with a limited pie. So while you seek to live below your means, seek to grow your income, seek to be like Mr. Jones, so you have the ability to not only reduce the amount of percentage you spend in expenses, but to increase your investment portfolio. as as you know it, $100 in the S&P 500, over 40 years, assuming all dividends we invested, you retire a millionaire. But what about $1,000 in the same S&P 500 for over 5 years or 10 years? You end up a millionaire. So you see how the dynamics change. It's still the same outlet, it's still the same platform,